am going to be going over Premiere Plus 2 Ultra, which is the highest level of embroidery software that is sold at, I'm going to guess, several different sewing galleries and embroidery shops. Got mine from a Viking sewing gallery, just my local one. You should be able to do a quick Google search there and find that lovely thing. I am kitsForge, and I'm Kit. I will be going over these videos with that. Basically, I'm going to start from ground zero and work my way up. And by ground zero, I do not mean installing and downloading it, because that you should be able to do with the book. If I find that a lot of people are having trouble though, I will try to go back and make a video for it. But for right now, I'm going to start with the background stuff and where you'd actually find to activate and register the software and that sort of thing, which is right here in Configure. Configure hides in a few spots. One spot is in the main software, which is up in the background here. Third spot is actually in that section of, well, the folder right before you open this. You're going to have to activate and register your software before you can get it open, because they want to make sure you paid for it. I also recommend to check your installation with whichever level you have. Very likely if you bought it from a gallery or quilt embroidery shop place, it's this top one. You just want to hit check. All these should be green. If they are not and one is red, that is a problem. Try again on a fresh reinstall and that should fix it. Smart communication has to do with some embroidery machines, but not all of them. This would be a direct connection cable. My guess is maybe for some updates or something. I'm not actually entirely certain what it is to set up, but I know that you have to be able to connect to your computer directly to your machine with a cable. These two guys here are for when you create your own settings. If you want to make a saved version of your settings, you can both back up and restore your settings. So once you're done going through Configure here, I do recommend to back up your settings. This does back up not just the settings in Configure, but the settings in your other apps and areas as well, meaning you'll have a clean start, except you'll have all your background configurations set up. So that's what we're going to be playing with mainly in this video, is getting all your background configuration stuff set up in Configure, because it's not a super nightmare thing, but something that you definitely want to do first, because there's a few spots that are not in the main software area that you might be wondering where the heck the button is. I'm going to be showing you where the button is. This button here though, reset all modules. This is the button you hit that's like the nuke all option. You want to get rid of all your settings and things and stuff that you did all across the software. It does not let you choose. It resets everything, including Configure. So if you hit this button, you gotta go back and reset all your stuff from ground zero, back up to where you were. I've only hit it once, and it was on accident, and I never want to hit it again. But if you are completely lost and just want everything to go back to default, that's your button right there. The buttons will glow when you can click on them in this software. My configure and background and colors might look a little different. That's because I have mine set to easier on your eyes right now. I will show and tell you when I get to the section of configure that lets you do that, because it is in configure. Reset file association. Your computer might not even let you go through configure to actually reset it, but it will give you the way to do it. For instance, this is what it pops up on my screen. It says go to your default apps, go to settings, apps, and default. This is, by the way, in your normal settings area on your computer. That's what it's talking about, is it wants you to go to your default apps and then change them to the default of what it should be for Premiere Plus 2. Why am I going over that? Why does that even matter to you? Well, it matters if you're not seeing your embroidery designs when they're sitting outside of the software, meaning just in a file folder. Like for instance, and I have a whole bunch of different random designs that I've gotten from so many different places. Let's go to the documents here. See how you can see them? And I have a lot of really weird ones. Well, that is because my file associations are set up properly and you can see them outside the software, because otherwise embroidery designs don't know what to, your computer basically doesn't know what to do with them. So you have to tell your computer what to do with them, and this software will do that. There is a free version of this software that you can get from premiereplus.com. It does not have most of what I'm going to go over though. It basically has the file tab, a very, very dumbed down version of the home tab, and export features. all the rest of this that you see you're not going to get unless you pay for it. And you're going to have to go in or call whichever place sells it to get the pricing, because I'm not going over that. I'm not representing the company in any way. I just want to show you how to use the software portion. So in order to buy or do whatever with this software, you need to go in and talk to an actual company representative. So anyway, I'm going to start going over the parts of the tab that you might not have ventured into because they're kind of scary sounding, like they might mess with stuff, because they do. So the appearance tab, which as you can see I've switched from the utility tab here to the appearance tab, and what tab you're on will control what it is. Sorry for some of you that this might be a little bit too dumbed down computery wise, but I want to make sure that my people who might watch this that are not as computer literate can kind of follow along to some degree and possibly learn a little bit about computers as they go. If you're really not okay with computers though, I would recommend to go back onto YouTube and search how to use your computer first, because I will be using a few terms that are generic terms. I'm going to do my best to describe them, such as like I'm doing right now with tabs, but I might not be able to catch myself for everything because I am a computer person. So these are tabs. When you click on a different tab, it'll bring you to a different section within that window. This right here is a small window. I just minimized the big window. And this is the main program back here, window. This is also a window. This top thing at the top of the window that I'm using to move it around is called the ribbon. These are tabs. They are normally right below the ribbon. Here's the tabs for this one. Here's the ribbon for the back one. Your utilities, appearance, import and export, all this stuff we're going to go over.